Hey there. So this is Courtney Jones with the ins and outs of creative real estate investing on Facebook and bestreitips.com on the web. So last week I told you a little bit about one of my favorite new lead sources, which is PIN. And I showed you a video on how to pull leads specific to exactly what you're looking for. So depending on what your business model is, you pull the leads that you need for that particular business model. So today I wanted to show you a little bit about what I do with those. So first of all, of course, the first thing I do is have them skip traced and I pick up the phone and try to call them. Okay, so that's the very first thing. If I don't get a hold of them live or if I leave a message, then I follow up with a mailer and then we continue to try to call as well. So when I do mailings, I'll show you a little bit about some of the things that I do here, but just to kind of keep in mind, what I'm looking for is various levels of motivation. So people always ask me, how do you know when you have a motivated seller? Well, you look for levels of motivation. So in my case, I might look for, say, a vacant house. If they have a vacant house and they have little to no equity because they've just bought it recently in the last couple of years, that's another level of motivation that's even better. And then I know I've hit the jackpot when the seller's mailing address is outside of that house. So if it's at a different property, in other words, it's a non-owner occupied home, then that's another level of motivation. So those things then combined mean that I'm gonna go the extra mile to do a lot of marketing to try to get a hold of those people. And of course, as I said, I'm continually trying to call because I've skip traced and got the phone number. But in the meantime, I'm sending some creative mail, not the typical postcard and letter that everybody else sends, but I'm doing something a little different. So let me show you what I have here. So the one lead here has it's an out of area owner, okay? And so I'll show you here, it's an out of area owner. They have less than 25% equity, which is fine for me in the Phoenix market right now for subject to type properties. So I would do that type of a deal in this area right now. And it's also vacant because the owner, as I think I mentioned, is out of area. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send what I call my bank bag mailings. This is a property I really like. I drove by it. I really like it a lot. I really want this property. And I've left a message for the seller and haven't heard back. So I wanna do something to keep her attention. So I like to use bank bags. So it's just your traditional bank bags, and the post office will mail them and anything else if you make it into a mailing piece. So I put a label on it, and inside of it, I'll show you here. Sorry for my rudimentary recording. I do a typical yellow letter inside of it, okay? And so if you're familiar with a typical yellow letter, I do that inside here. And then usually I'll do a magnet, which you just peel off this and then put your business card right on it. And so I'll put that inside there along with the yellow letter and mail that out. And that catches their attention because most of the time people are like, wait, I have a mailbox, a bank bag? That's unusual. So I'm looking for things like that to stand out and make my mailings look a little different than the typical me too envelopes. In addition to that, if I'm just doing like repeat, I'm not gonna do that every time, the bank bag. I'm gonna do something simple, but something that stands out a little bit. So I like to use bright colors like what we have here. Okay, so those envelopes tend to stand out a lot. I look for that kind of stationery, something that's different size, that's going to stand out and kind of just catch people's eyes. So hope that helps a little bit, and let me know if I can be of any other help. Talk to you soon.